Thanks, Mr President. I rise in support of the opposition amendments. Mr President, these are unusual times, and the current configuration of these provisions don't allow or don't account for those unusual times, because the bond system is designed for a situation whereby, as my honourable colleague has pointed out, where the tenant hasn't honoured the lease agreement for such things as damage or non-payment of rent. But we're talking about exceptional circumstances where people have lost their jobs, are in dire financial circumstances because of COVID-19, and we're looking to make adjustments for that period to allow these people access to relief in that situation. Now, in terms of the prohibition on claiming unpaid rent from bonds during a moratorium, it's to alleviate a cumbersome financial burden during the time. It's essential that during the moratorium period that landlords should not be entitled to claim from the rental bond for any rent that is still owing when a household has been suffering severe financial detriments from the pandemic. There's a test, Mr President, that you have to satisfy before this gets applied. Tenants facing hardship will be without adequate savings and may need their bonds to be able to secure a new bond, as many residents are needing to find other rentals due to lease terminations. We cannot have tenants facing substantial financial penalty by allowing unpaid rent to be taken from bonds during the moratorium when industries have closed wholesale and substantial job losses and pay cuts have occurred. These tenants are feeling the financial impacts of the pandemic and need our help in reducing the already devastating effects of this crisis. I think it's only fair that under this agreement, landlords can maintain their ability to claim against the bond for other reasons, the default provisions, such as when a property has been damaged. If the household has not been financially impacted by COVID-19, then landlords can make a claim for the rent. We are therefore taking measures to ensure that we are helping those tenants that are suffering tremendously from COVID-19, Mr President. In terms of the applications by impacted tenants, the other amendment, to reduce rent payable under residential tenancy agreements, the ability for impacted tenants to have assistance from NCAT is essential in specific circumstances. A tenant who has been adversely impacted by the pandemic should be able to apply to the tribunal to be able to reduce their rent when they have taken reasonable measures to engage in a formal rent reduction process. So this is a situation where the tenant attempts to engage in a negotiation with the landlord. The landlord is stringing out the negotiations. There's no other relief but to apply to the tribunal and get it expedited.